So we're going to talk about perspective today. This is something that a lot of artists I see on social media don't do. Normally people will just draw characters and call it good. And if you're serious about getting into the arts of any form, I think perspective is very important. So here's the Verizon line here, or the horizon line, and here's the vanishing point, this little circle. You can draw a square. This is how you learn how to do perspective. So if you have a square, a regular 2D square, you can make it into a cube by putting all of the points to that vanishing point. And this, I'll show you in a minute how you bring this method to drawing backgrounds. So making it 3D, such as that, and the points to make it more 3D, like maybe the back side, you line up the points to the corners, and that makes the back side of the cube. And you can do this any size or shape of, well, basically a cube is the basic shape that you want to learn first, because you can divide that cube into different sections and make different shapes, but this is the most basic shape that you should learn first. Now that we got our cubes, this is our vanishing point and our horizon line. Maybe we can make these cubes into an actual scene. So what we can do is make all these cubes into buildings. Start with very basic shapes to learn how to do this. And since this line goes straight to the horizon line because it's the front plane and it lines up with the top of it. So, and to make this a building, we'll keep this going down, and then this line here will line up with the horizon line. So it'll go like that. Then erase that, and then there's your building, your first building in perspective. And we're gonna make a whole scene here as perspective if we can. Let's see what we can do. So let's see, maybe this is already a good enough building. And for the middle part, normally what I do, I'm not sure if this is exactly the correct way, but from what I know so far, I'm not an expert or anything, but I'm just sharing what I do know. Is what I do is something like this for the roof. Maybe this is a house, and the top of the roof will line up with that horizon line or vanishing point, and then like that. So there's a little house. And to get started on maybe the landscape a little bit, we can do some landscaping. Basically, to do like a trail, it's going to be like a basic trail is going to be just lines from the vanishing point like so. It can be straight like that, but if you maybe want a curved line, like this is like a trail or maybe a road, but if you want it to be curved, you can make another vanishing point and go like that, like this. So then you erase this part, and you can make it curved. So now you have it curved. So and maybe go more like this so it looks like it's coming closer. Actually, it would be better. So it's getting bigger as it comes closer. Yeah, that looks better. But see what I mean as we learn perspective. It's very basic. You can draw anything in perspective, any shape, but you know, obviously more complicated shapes are going to be harder to do, but sometimes people cheat it. But it's just good to know the basics, I believe. You don't have to be a professional, but as long as you know the basics, then you can make better backgrounds and not just draw characters. Maybe I'll color this with colored pencil, maybe spruce it up and come back later, show you the results. And yeah, and then I'll talk about it and explain what I did. Okay, so I decided to make my own drawing from reference from a photo that I took. If you apply what you've learned from perspective and put it into practice from photos and finding the vanishing point and finding the horizon line on the photo, that will teach you to learn even faster. So that's a great way to learn. And I believe that's all we have today. This took me about maybe 20-30 minutes, but yep, it's just a very quick drawing for an example of a finished work. So all right.